condition to come out here. I advised against it backstage during intermission. We'll get Trigga a different opponent.
He just said again he's not coming out. It makes me wonder if he did something else backstage.
And here's Bullet again. Bullet.
Bullet?
He's trying like hell.
What are you doing, Bullet? Oh, come on. Look, guys, got some fight in him. It's not the size of the dog. Is that what they say?
It's not the size, period.
Talk about being in the line of fire. These two have some animosity stemming from the first half of our broadcast. Bullet Joe now looking to be made an example of, seeking retribution.
We advised Bullet not to come out here in the second half.
Bullet
may have a cracked rib.
Fighting through that pain, obviously. That's how much wrestling means to Bullet. Still, after getting attacked earlier, still going one-on-one with Trigga the OG. Well, toe-to-toe anyway. This match hasn't officially started yet. Ooh, back into the guardrails.
And now Trigga might have a cracked rib.
You know, Bullet Joe is consistently having his size or lack thereof thrown into his face. He's constantly been the smaller guy in a conflict, always being reminded of his shortcomings. You know, Trigga the OG might have just poked the bear in this one.
Really, I expect that out of me, Rossi, but not out of you.
He said shortcomings.
Oh, the two of you, knock it off. Bullet Joe now.
Where's he going? Firing off. Try for those signs.
He's feeling fresh. He's got himself a lap of momentum.
All around into the guardrail
went the
himself.
longest possible route to get back to Trigga. He could have just turned around and went there.
Whole lot of wasted moments tonight.
Whole lot of wasted energy indeed. The road to hell is often paved with good intentions, and Bullet Joe may be there right now.
Watch out, Bullet, look out.
Bullet should have took that route. It worked for,
Oh, these two guys are going to kill each other.
Trigga not playing now. Lining up for a second shot. Across the ring, but he eats the knee. Bullet out of nowhere with that. Followed by a second. I don't know where Bullet got this burst of energy from, but it's working for him. Oh, up until now.
Oh,
no, it worked. Sends Trigga into the steps. About the 20th time tonight we've someone go through those.
Thank God the stairs are not on the payroll.
They would be on injured reserve by far.
They need their own insurance.
Bullet Joe now.
They'd be calling one of those bus stop lawyers.
Bullet Joe is hot in his pursuit up against Trigga the OG, knowing full well that this bell is not rung. He is utilizing the ring itself as a weapon. Tony P just desperately trying to talk some sense into either of these guys.
You know, I think since the first time you rang that bell tonight, everyone has lost all sense.
I mean, you know, I'm not trying to tell you how to run your business, Phoenix, but I hope this gives you a good view as just to what kind of, you know, craziness takes place in the arena.
And again,
oh, no. Bullet is 0 for 2 when he runs long distances.
Jeez, that was like a crash test car. He just went full speed, ate the barrier.
Bullet needs to stick to those short distances.
Yeah, I'm surprised he doesn't just go right through those bars.
Because he's more of a sprinter, I got you.
Yes, absolutely.
Oh! Might want to sprint away from that assault. Trigga the OG throws the gavel down on his pectorals.
Once again, the crowd has to get up because the fight's not in the ring, it's out in the crowd.
Tony P didn't even want
Next
to
week,
watch.
I'm going to seat the crowd inside the ring.
The way things are going.
Yeah, that'd be a first.
I mean,
you know, say what you will, you got to give this kid credit. Since he's been here, he's had gold on his mind. That's all his goal has ever been, is to win XWA championship.
Man, right into the chairs in the back, and they are padded, but you catch those metal legs the right way.
You going back to the statement that you had made earlier, Phoenix. You know, when you are a champion of any kind in the XWA, you have a target on your back. Does Bullet Joe really want that kind of attention? Is he ready for that kind of competition?
I think Bullet Joe thinks he's ready for it.
Depends on who you ask that question to. If you ask any of us, we might say maybe not yet. If you ask him, it's absolutely.
Bullet Joe always seemingly ready for a fight. It's how he got himself in this mess to begin with.
Bullet Joe has opened up Pandora's box as the assault continues to take place. One that favors only one man, the current champion, and Trigga the OG. There is no bell here, so technically speaking, there's nothing to stop either of these two from beating the hell out of one another.
Are we about to have a match? There we go. There's the bell. Oof, just inches away from that chair. Bullet getting tossed across the ring.
Tony P now has gotten some form of order established. Bullet Joe on the receiving end of insults and injury. But he pops back up to his feet and he fires back with everything he's got left in the tank. Oh! Turns him inside out.
No! Bullet kicked out.
We talk about our guys, our crop being resilient. Bullet Joe is a testament to that.
Trigga just knocked his skull inside out, brains on the wall. Bullet Joe kicked out somehow. Is that too graphic? Because it looked pretty graphic.
I mean, it felt graphic from this vantage point, guys. I mean, Bullet Joe has always been the smaller guy in a contest. He's always had the bag beaten out of him. But this kid, he finds a way to fight through the pain. How, I don't know. I marvel at it week in and week out.
Well, he's coming into this match already hurt. Trigga has a fire in his eyes trying to get ready for Pentagon. We might see a murder here tonight.
And I mean, not for nothing, but for Bullet to keep fighting back, it's a lot about the kid. You know, Trigga's no slouch. He's been wrestling for years. He's got the experience. He's held titles all over New England. He's the XWA heavyweight champion currently. I mean, it says a lot about Bullet's determination.
Bullet, live to fight another day, buddy. Live to fight another day.
Trigga the OG has him perfectly grounded in the center of the ring. Nowhere for him to go. That chin lock firmly applied. I sit corrected. This may be a sleeper hold. Bullet Joe not showing any signs of life. Oh!
Once again, Bullet Joe fighting back up.
He's got to use that positioning to his advantage. He's got that lower center of gravity. And right back into it.
Ooh!
Oh, countered.
And you know, it's so easy to rag on the guy. I do it all the time, but man, he is fighting back more than I expected here tonight.
Bullet Joe looking to launch a clothesline to Trigga the OG. He staggers the champ, but he can't get him to fall.
He's going to aim him a little low. Trigga catches him. Bullet rolls through it, gets the pin. Trigga kicking out, 2.5.
Guys, can you imagine? This is a non-title match, but can you imagine if Bullet pins the heavyweight champion right now?
Jackknife style pin. He would certainly have the attention of everyone in the region on him, including our board of directors.
You'd save money on ink. Hang up a nice little
8x10.
8x10 on the wall. I mean, that's about all we got space for up there right now. Wall of Champions. Trigga's going to have to hold this title for a long while.
Hey, we'll make room. We'll get a bigger building.
Bullet Joe blindly charges into his opponent, turns things around with a tilt-a-whirl flatliner. Beautifully done, but it's still not enough to take out the current champ.
More proof, everything hurts more when you're dizzy.
And the disadvantage of being small, you know, Bullet keeps going. He had all his weight across Trigga. You know, we talked about that in previous matches, and it just wasn't enough to hold Trigga's shoulders to the mat.
His weight wasn't enough?
His weight wasn't enough. You know, he had his leverage up there, but Trigga just kind of benched him off.
Trying to get this crowd behind him.
Both men back to their feet. The OG in one buckle, the Bullet Joe at the other. He's got his crosshair set on the OG, and he launches a leaping forearm. Lands with precision. Might have taken a little bit too long for that second exchange attempt. Chops down, Trigga pops up.
Bullet noticeably worn down. And that's got to be it.
That's it,
Bullet's
he's dead.
seeing stars. It's for her, baby.
Bullet Joe now fights his way out of a powerbomb style predicament.
No, it's not. This is for her. Bullet with the Canadian destroyer to trigger the OG. Trigga rolls out of the ring. We've seen it all tonight.
We certainly have. Trigga the OG is currently being held up by the guardrail. He seems to be completely knocked out from that Canadian destroyer. Boy, the velocity Joe got on that one.
Like a bullet. Now both men back on the guardrails. A familiar sight here tonight, and more importantly, during this match. But Bullet being the smarter one.
I was just going to say, that's smart on the part of Bullet. You want to make a statement. You want to pin the champion in the ring, and you can't do that on the outside.
Oh, but maybe not so smart. It just fed him right into that steel chair.
The steel chair that we all thought was taken out of the ring. Tony P in the heat of all the action. I guess he didn't quite get it out far enough.
You know, I see those steel chains strewn about, or the gold chains rather, just strewn about the ring. I'm surprised those haven't come into play sooner, but it's the chair coming up out of nowhere.
Bullet calling for the end here.
Looking to lock in that double underhook that leads into the AK-96. But Trigga just falls to the canvas, still feeling the effects of that Canadian destroyer. Tony P may have to throw this match out, guys.
Both men just on the mat. What is going on? Bullet's starting to fight back. I thought he was about to give in. Working, fighting, using all his strength to get Trigga back up to his feet. Oh! No!
He kicked out.
Bullet kicking out after being dropped on that chair. We've seen everything come into play during this matchup. Main event caliber. Not even the headlining matchup here tonight on Throwdown, and we've seen it all.
This seems to be an ongoing theme here, guys with heart and soul and refuse to give up in the drive and the passion to win.
You may have something here.
That's what the XWA is made of, man. It is our mantra.
Bullet battered, bruised. He is sore.
He's still, oh, no, not again, Trigga. No, Bullet slipped out. Again, Bullet getting the advantage. Roll. 1, 2. No.
And Bullet Man inadvertently assisted his opponent there. Looking to get a little bit of extra torque on that pin. He assists Trigga in getting his shoulder off the canvas.
This match is like a game of Pong. Back and forth all night. Just when I think Bullet's done, he pops back up again.
Starting to feel the effects. You can see it in his eyes.
When I think Trigga's pulled every trick out of his book, he comes up with something different. The scary part is, where is he going to go next?
Trigga's got that chain. He had it.
Considered maybe having a loaded hand. Bullet Joe now launches himself off onto the apron, and Insigiri lands. O'Connor roll.
Into the suplex!
Oh!
Bridges into the pin. Is Bullet going to get it? No! 2.9, Bob. Say it!
2.9. You can't get much closer than that. Jeez, Bullet Joe is convinced that that would be the knockout blow. You can see the frustration. It's gotten to a boiling point. This kid doesn't know what else to throw at Trigga, and I can't say I blame him.
Tony P in the midst of all this action, I don't think he knows what to expect either. It looks like he's starting to get a bit worried. This Bullet goes to the top.
Trigga now surveying enough of the action, says to hell with this. Takes himself a break to the outside. Bullet Joe not letting him walk away from this contest. Still feeling the disrespect that he was dished out earlier on in our broadcast. He wants to not only make an example out of the OG, he wants to show everybody that he belongs in this league of competition.
And you know, not for nothing, despite the actions of what happened earlier, this is right up Bullet's alley. He came here tonight expecting to wrestle Adam Zero. He gets attacked by Trigga, and now he's in the ring with the heavyweight champion.